IVM.
Hey guys, welcome to the Positively Unlimited podcast. This week I'm talking a little bit more about choices. So I hope you heard last week's episode. It was about the power of choices. In this episode, I'm turning that cube of choice just a little bit and talking about another facet. It is about the journey that comes along with every choice that we make. Yes, every choice will take us down a certain path. Or every choice will lead us to our destination through a certain path, whichever way you see it. And on that journey, on that trip, there will be ups and downs. Sometimes the road will be smooth, sometimes it'll be pothole ridden, and sometimes there won't be any light, it'll be a lot of darkness. What do I mean by all of this? I know there's a picture in your head right now of you possibly driving down this long road. But what do I mean by this? So let me give you an example that I used when I spoke about this on Instagram, on my Insta stories. I do something called truth bombs every other day. And, well, the idea of truth bombs is to say it like it is. So this time when I did it, I was writing about making peace with our choices. And that's what today's episode is all about. It's about making peace. So say, for example, and this is the example I used even online, but here goes. Say, for example, there is a woman who's listening to us, or maybe that woman is you. You've quit your job when you were doing fairly well and you had a long way to go to have a baby. You wanted to become a mother and you thought the time was right. So you quit and you, had a baby. Now, your baby is 6 months old, 7 months old, maybe your baby is a year old. And when you decided to become a mother, one of the other choices that you made was to be a stay-at-home mom for 3 years, or maybe 5 years. Now, a year and a half into this journey, the fact that your friends are all moving ahead in their career, the fact that people get up in the morning and get out of the house and do so many things, but your life is tied to this child and the choice that you made to be a stay-at-home mom. The fact that you have to deal with your own expectations of the kind of mom you want to be, as well as those that others are placing on you. Some you may have allowed and some you may not have allowed, but they're still there. So all of these pieces, these are the potholes on that road. These are moments of darkness where there are no street lights on that road that you are driving down, right? You have no choice but to go through it. Because the only other choice that you have in this moment is to get up and get back into your career or your professional life, which, again, you don't want to do. So, let me simplify this. You have decided to be a stay-at-home mom for about 3 years. And somewhere along the line now, this entire idea of staying at home is not feeling so nice. What do? Well, in most normal cases, the person will start jumping from how life used to be and I wish it could be like that, to when I do start working, life is going to look like this. Well, living in between the past and the future, you start to lose sight of the present. In swaying between how things used to be and how you would like them to be in the future, you stop enjoying the present and you start judging the present. The present stops to feel good. The present starts to feel like a burden. The present becomes difficult. It's like you've gone and switched off the lights in the room and are sitting in darkness and wondering why is there no light. That's literally what you are doing. So what is the solution to this? The solution is to make peace. The solution is to be sure of your choice and say that, okay, I chose to be a stay-at-home mom for 3 years. Why am I not able to enjoy this choice? If I think this choice is wrong, then should I change it? Because you can always change your choice. Yes, you will have to ask for help. You will have to have a lot of people around you change their routine and pitch in, right? But you can make a different choice at any point of time. So make peace with your choices. If you decided to be a stay-at-home mom for 3 years or 5 years, and this is only an example, a hypothetical situation, but I know a lot of people out there are going through it. So this is in hope of reaching out to you. So if that's the choice that you have made, then become okay with other people moving ahead in their career. You have to stop comparing your life to theirs because your choice is different. You have chosen a different journey, a different road trip. So you need to sit in that car and enjoy that, which means indulge yourself and your child in this experience of being mother and child. Enjoy your time with the family. Enjoy your time with your child. Take care of yourself. Now, during this time, the one thing that you can do to keep yourself going is to keep your skills up. If you need to learn something, if you need to stay in touch with whatever may be required when you want to get back into your professional life. Make sure that you are studying and doing those courses. Make sure you're spending some time every day in honing your skills so that when you have to jump back into your professional life, into your career, you don't feel like you are not good enough or like you are out of it. Now, this was an example from the personal life. Let me take an example of something from the professional life. Now, let's say that you quit your job to start your own business. You decided to quit your job and become an entrepreneur. When you did that, you obviously created a business plan, had an idea, put things down on paper, went out there and got funding or got the capital and got started. When you decided to be an entrepreneur, you signed up for a certain type of journey. It's like going and buying an X type of car, mapping out your 2 destinations where you're starting from and where you want to end up at, and sitting in that car and starting to drive. Yes, the volume of failure is going to be loud because it happens. You've stepped out of your comfort zone and you've stepped into a space where you don't have all the answers and you don't know how to do everything. And you are taking chances because there are that many external circumstances also dictating how you are moving forward. So the noise of failure is going to be loud. However, that noise of failure is there for a reason. It is there because it is your opportunity to build your own conviction. If you give in to that noise of failure and decide that you are not good enough and nothing's ever going to work out for you, then you've turned that fear into an obstacle. But if you use that fear of failure and respond to it appropriately, you will end up building conviction. Conviction, a word that all of us struggle with at different points. I have done an episode on it earlier. It is episode number 64 where I spoke about self-belief and conviction. So that may be something you want to listen to if you are an entrepreneur and you are dealing with fear of failure. Or even if you are somebody who has decided to get into a relationship or get married and is struggling with this new phase of life. Remember this, make peace with whatever choice you are making. If you have decided to step away from something for a certain period, talk to yourself in very, very clear terms. Stick to the facts. You have not stepped away from something and gotten into another thing permanently. You have stepped away from something for a period of time. And you will find your way into that very thing that you stepped away from once again when you decide to do so. So speak to yourself in concrete words. Give yourself specific timings. Give yourself the facts. Instead of talking to yourself in a negative manner by saying, my life is not good enough, people are moving ahead of me, I'm not doing enough, and I'm wasting time. Because honestly, if you are a stay-at-home mom, or if you have chosen to be an entrepreneur, you are not wasting time. You are choosing a particular phase or experience. You are choosing something with complete intention. So instead of filling that space up with negative self-talk, indulge it, enjoy it, dive into it. If you guys want some more tools on how to make better choices, episode 13 is all about making conscious choices, and I have spoken about how you can learn to say no to things that are not good for you. or things that you don't want to do. There is also episode 25 where I've spoken about saying yes to life, which is about taking whatever life is giving you with open arms. It is about diving into experiences with faith. So that is something you can listen to. And there is an episode called What If, to deal with all the what ifs that run in your head, especially when you are in this in-between phase, in-between time of that choice, that road trip that you have decided to take. That is episode number 75. During this week, you can listen to this episode number 94, episode number 93, which was last week's episode about power of choices, episode 13 about conscious choices, episode 25, where we say yes to life, and episode 75, which is all about what if. That many tools out there to help you make peace with the choice you have made right now and the choice that you are living. So on that note, I'm going to catch you next week with one more episode on choices. Until then, have a really, really happy and joyful week.
I hope you enjoyed that show. We'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week. Thank you, HDFC Life, for coming on board. Also, would like to thank Storytel for continuing the long time advertising that they've been doing with us. And if you have a brand and you'd like to advertise with us, please send us an email. We'd love to talk to you. And let me tell you a couple of things that you should check out this week. On States of Anarchy, Humsani talks about the Brazil-India relationship. On Agla Station Adulthood, Ayushi and Ritasha talk about pleasure, sex, and much more. On a nostalgia-laden episode of the Geek Fruit podcast, Tejas and Dinkar go back to the franchise with the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies and talk about how they hold up today, 12 years after the last movie came out. On our Kannada podcast, Thalle Arate, scholar Avinash Amble combines neuroscience, mathematical logic, and the cutting edge of computer science to explain the history of machine vision to Pawan and Surya. On Tapri Tales, Madhuri weaves a tale around a conversation between three friends. Thanks and keep listening.
घड़ी की टिक टिक के बीच अब वक्त हो चुका है टपरी पे मिलने का, चाय या कॉफी के साथ टपरी टेल्स सुनने का। सोचिए, अगर आपकी मम्मी, अक्का, दादी, नानी, जीजी, आजी भी आपके साथ इस चाय की टपरी पे एक चुस्की लेने आ जाए तो कैसी बातें होंगी? उनकी कहानियाँ कितनी नई या पुरानी होगी? एक्चुअली ना, टपरी पे पहली बार ये उनकी जुबानी होगी। तो मिलिए इन नए किरदारों से हर गुरुवार टपरी टेल्स पर। चाय की प्याली, एक नई कहानी with Madhuri Advani on IVM Podcast app, website or wherever you get your podcast from.